Okay, today we're going to be looking at a smoking cabinet that I'm building. I'm building this from an old Foster's refrigerated cabinet, and this is it here. I've already removed the compressor and motor assembly from the top, which on these comes as a one-piece unit which you just unbolt. There's no works inside the cabinet at all. So it's an ideal cabinet to do. It's on wheels, which obviously is going to assist moving it around once we get it finished. I shall remove these two panels from the top, which we'll cut off, and we'll use the metal to fabricate other things. Taking a look at the inside of the cabinet now, as you can see, it's completely stainless steel lined, so it's ideal for the job. It's got a self-closing door, which we'll do something about so that it's easy to get stuff in and out. I'm just going to start fabricating the bottom tray, which is here. We're going to make that out of these vents. They're aluminium vents attached to some 90-degree rail. Got here electric hacksaw, ideal for fabricating these parts, and also a lathe in case we need to make any items up. So it should keep me busy in the workshop for a little while, and we'll come back to it when I've finished building this first rack. So that's all for this section. Okay, right, so I've manufactured the bottom shelf to go in the bottom of the smoker. As you can see, it's angled down, so the fat and bits and pieces will run down to the middle, and the centre bar at the bottom is curved, and it's got a hole cut in it there for the stuff to drip through into the tray of water, bowl of water rather, in the bottom. So that's that section of it completed, and now we'll move on to fixing the electrics into the cabinet. Okay, today I've been manufacturing the drip shelf to catch the grease and direct it into the bowl, and here's the fabricated shelf, and I've fixed four brackets in the cabinet at angles to support the shelf in the right position. So we'll just go ahead and install that now and make sure it sits correctly. Back in a minute. Okay, she's in, and that's sitting exactly where I want it to sit. So there's a nice gap underneath for the smoke generator and the bowl. The smoke generator will come in to the cabinet where that green semicircle is drawn there, and the bowl will sit in the middle on the floor, and that's angled down in the middle. I don't know if you can see that, but it all falls towards the middle where there's a drain hole through, and then the element's going to go on the back wall over there, and then there'll be a heat shield above that to direct the fat forward onto the tray that I've just installed. So on with the next bit. See you later. Okay, so today I had a few minutes spare time, so I decided to construct a heat box to go into the back of the unit. There she is there. That's using more bits of the fridge works that were already in the fridge. So a couple of bits of sheet metal there that I've used. One I'm going to use as the front cover, which has got a top on it there wrapped round, and that's fixed onto a back box which is galvanised steel. This is straight out of the oven. This is the element plate from the floor of the oven, and I'm going to fix that onto this section of the oven housing so that it stands off the back wall by approximately about 17-18 mil off the back plate. So that will allow the heat to come out through this front grille. I'm going to fix that vertical in the back side of the oven there behind the drip tray, and hopefully that will let the heat circulate around the oven correctly. I'm going to fit a digital PID controller with a solid state relay which will control the oven element, and so that's another little job towards it today. I'll just get that all screwed together now, ready to fit. So see you all later. Okay, so today I decided to get the shelves cut ready for the smoker. So I had a 8 foot by 4 foot sheet of stainless steel mesh, which is 3 mil with a 25mm grid, and that was a 2440 by 1220 sheet, millimeters that is of course. So I've cut that into some shelves which we got there with the grinder, using the cordless grinder, and I've cut them to 575 by 600, almost exact, and they're going to go on the aluminium runners inside the cabinet. So that's the shelves cut, and now I'm going to fabricate some runners to go on the inside, so we'll come back to that shortly. Another little stage complete. Okay, so we're out in the workshop again today, getting a bit more done with the smoker. So the smoker cabinet's come on a stage now. I've got my PID controller built. Okay, so here we are back in the workshop. Things have moved on a pace now. So got the fridge, got all the runners in for the shelves. You can see that. Got the runners in down both sides for the shelves. They're going to put some secondary runners on top of those the other way around, so that the shelves don't tip up when you pull them out. We've got the connections in the bottom there for the element, and they're separated in a box. The heating element box on the back wall there. I've introduced a sheet down the back of the cabinet there as a heat sink. The thermostat is thermocouple rather, is attached to the wall there and feeds through straight into my control box, which is there on the side. And then I've connected that via a 7-core control cable down to the smoker box, which I've rewired, and I've put the solid state relay for the oven element in there, and the programmer for the element is obviously up in here in the control box at the top. I've wired the element into a box on the back with a kettle lead input there, which I've then taken round and taken the feed from the solid state relay down the kettle lead from the secondary inside output there, and then so that when the 7-core cable is plugged in, that takes everything including the mains feed up to the main box, and that enables me to disconnect the smoker unit off of the box and to take it off for cleaning. So that's another stage done today, and then we're just going to finish off the rest of the cabinet. Okay, so today I've finished off the shelves and the runners, and what I've done is I've put some long runners on the bottom of the shelves that go all the way along the back of the cabinet, and some short runners on the front at the top. Then those will stop the trays tipping up when it's pulled out. So you can pull the shelf right out and then leave it whilst you turn the stuff over without it tipping out of the oven and emptying everything down your front. So we've got 6 huge shelves and 7 positions. I also found a nice stainless steel bath to go in the bottom to fill with water to catch the burnt smoker pucks, and to put a bit of fluid into steam into the atmosphere. So that's pretty much the inside finished off. I've mounted the thermocouple on the wall there, and I'm considering putting a fan in, a circulating fan, but I haven't decided about that yet. I'll wait until I've fired it up and given it a temperature test to see how even the temperature remains in the cabinet when it's in use. So that's it. We've got the box on the outside connected with the 7-core and 7-pin plug down to the smoke generator, and then another lead to plug in round to the element at the back. So that's all for today, folks. Okay, here we are then, back in the workshop. Final phase of the build. I think if you're going to put a sign on it, you might as well make it a big one. So I've got a Bradley bar sign, which I've put on the front to cover the old refrigerator badging. And I've mounted the smoke box on the side with a couple of raw bolts. I'm just putting a liner in that hole there to cover up the foam. But that's just got to plug in place. And then the old smoke box, I've taken the LED panel out, the one that was blown, replaced it with just a simple on-off switch for the element on the smoker, and the push to feed the next puck in override there. We've tested it all on the timers, the digital timers and the thermometers are all working absolutely fine here. I've put some flue holes in the top to let the smoke escape with a cover over. So that's it, we're good to go. So the next step is to use it in anger, which I'm hoping to do this coming weekend. So I'm pleased with the way it's turned out. I think it looks the part. It looks like a proper commercial unit inside, with the stainless steel shelving and everything, and it's turned out really pleasing. So that's good. I'll let you know how I get on when I start using it to cook. So see you all later.